Good evening, everybody in Junkie Nation. This is the Great Adakuji. I am in the hosting roles, stepping in for Kenshiro because he and more than half of the Culture Junkies crew have the pleasure of going to see Batman versus Superman early. We are going to have a fabulous show despite who is not here. We are going to be catching up on some of the news, maybe some of the recaps, and most definitely talking about the evolution of DC animation, which in a lot of people's opinions is some of the best animation that you can see on the TV or anywhere else right now. I'm going to be introducing our panel here. First, we got Krusty. Hey, Krusty, say what's up to everybody.
Hi, guys.
Also got here tonight with us is Simon Says. Simon, how you doing?
I am a meat popsicle.
Meat popsicle. That is very interesting. Is it very cold out there, sir?
No.
Okay.
I'm indoors.
Then you're kind of weird. And last but not least, we have former Mr. Pessimistic, Sev. How you guys?
Nobody. I didn't get a ticket to tonight's showing of Superman versus Batman, but that's okay.
Buddy, I did not get one either. It kind of sucks, but I will be sitting in that theater at 7:30 Friday, March 25th. I don't know if I'm gonna be in awe just yet, so we'll see what's gonna happen. Anyway, let's get started with this news. I mean, it's been a very light news day. We've been scrounging around for a bit just to see what is kind of interesting, and I hate to say that there's not much going on, but as of right now, the Xbox One has a little bit more titles that are going to be backwards compatible. It was announced today that Assassin's Creed, Dark Void, and Grid 2, boosting the numbers up to 140, are backwards compatible. What do you guys have to say about that? I know some of you guys out there are not console gamers, but what do you got to say?
Well, they can take Dark Void off that list, man. That game was terrible. The other two, Grid and Assassin's Creed, those are great titles, especially Grid, man. But Dark Void, are you kidding me? Why would this see? Here's the thing with the backwards compatibility or whatnot. I think they should focus more on quality instead of quantity. So, like the really outstanding Xbox 360 games that are out there, make those backwards compatible. The ones like Dark Void, just forget they was ever made. Don't put those as backwards compatible. Just no.
I do kind of agree with you. I didn't play Dark Void. Assassin's Creed, I won't say it's Ubisoft's last great game. But it did start something that I did enjoy, and then I started to get really bored. So that's I guess Ubisoft. I know you have your reservations about them. Hey Simon, what do you think?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Well, I mean, really, they're gonna like Dark Void in. They might as well let Drake and the 99 Dragons in. They talking about, I mean, really, dude. He's
Wow.
right. Sam is right, though. It's quality over quantity. Why would you let that game in? If that's the case, like I said, you might as well let Drake and the 99 Dragons in. If that's the case, man.
That's a terrible game, too. Oh, that game was terrible.
Even though that was on the original Xbox and not quite the Xbox One.
But I'm just saying.
But no, I get you. I get you completely because, like, seriously, the ones that people are really asking for, like Red Dead Redemption, is still not there. Like, what the heck is going on? It's taking them so long to put a game that people want. Call of Duty, what is it? Black Ops or whatever the heck. You know how many Call of Duty games they have out there. Those games.
They're gonna if they do that, there's gonna be a flood market of Call of Duty games. I can see that right now.
You can see it coming. Krusty, you got any opinion about that?
I have no opinion. I mean, looking at all the games here, I mean, you have Fable, Halo. I don't really see a problem with it.
Well,
maybe I don't know. I don't have an opinion.
One day I think
It's
they're going to
cool.
probably put everything
That's my
on there.
opinion.
Well, I believe having backwards compatibility is awesome because, starting with the PlayStation 2, just being able to play your old games, is something that is, you don't have to have so many systems hooked up to your television. I like that a whole lot. So just them putting on the backwards compatibility is super awesome. Anyway.
I think backwards compatibility should be a standard. Like if a new system comes out, I think it should. If I have a PlayStation 4, I don't want to have to plug in my PlayStation 3 just to play like Tales of Symphonia. I don't know.
And I agree completely. You know, that's something that I wish that Sony did not take out of the PlayStation 4. But alas, I mean, what are you going to do? Just in that aspect, you have your PlayStation 3. If you have the original PlayStation 3, the 60 gig model, where you can have your PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and 3 all in one, and then your PlayStation 4, you're kind of good. But when it on Microsoft's side, when they took out the backwards compatibility, it was like, okay, what am I going to do? There's the Xbox 360 could play original Xbox games, and then you had your 360. Now it's like if you want your original games, you got to have your 360 and your one hooked up. But you know, I really do like that they included the backwards compatibility, even though it's not as good as I'd like it, because you still have to download the game. It's not just plug and play. It's actually you're downloading a game when you pop the disc in to your system. So
yeah, it's not as lucrative.
no, it's not at all. On another note, we have another big video game maker, Nintendo, doing stupid stuff again. And I call it stupid because you have people who have bought Mario Maker. And Mario Maker, if you guys out there in Junkie Nation don't know, is a game where you play as Mario and you can create your own levels. You can do whatever the heck you want. You can make them super hard, super easy. Whatever your imagination desires, Nintendo gave you the power to create levels, which is good and dandy until they started deleting these levels for no apparent reason. You have I think his name is Pooh Man. I'm not too sure. He does Twitch, and he went to go play his levels as he does periodically, and they were gone. And apparently you cannot get them back. If you want them back, you got to try to recreate them again. And I would personally think that would be, I think I wouldn't call it a nail in the coffin, but I'd be extremely upset with Nintendo. What do you guys think about that, Sev?
This is another fine example of Nintendo marching to the beat of their own drum. This has actually been going on for, I think, almost 3 weeks now. And they have not given an explanation why they are deleting levels. It's everything from people who have made like some of the most challenging levels in Mario Maker to just like 10-year-old kids who are just trying their hand at making the games and whatnot. I will say this is the proverbial nail in the coffin. They haven't explained why. There's no reason why this should be happening. I've even checked some of the old maps they were deleting where there's nothing, nasty in them or anything. They're not taking Goombas and making them in the shapes of penises or anything like that. So I don't know why they're doing this, man. This is just another case of just Nintendo tomfoolery, man. I don't know what's going on over there at that company, man. That's I don't know.
I personally don't know either, because they just keep doing whatever the heck they want, and people still buy their stuff, but a lot of people are not happy with them. What about you, Simon? What do you got to say?
I'm done, man. I'm totally done with Nintendo. After hearing this, you can basically say that me and Nintendo have been divorced. I have filed papers. I'm glad I signed that prenup. And man, they can keep the kids, but I'm done. It's over with. I can't even. Don't even mention Nintendo in my presence, Daifuji, because yeah, it's not good anymore. I don't even want to hear the name Nintendo. I don't even want to see a Nintendo ever again.
I tell you, that sucks, because I personally still like Nintendo for the games that they make. But a lot of the decisions that they have been making, I am not particularly happy with those, to tell you the truth.
And I agree, the games are awesome, but it's just like, how can you do that? I mean, first it was the GameCube. I mean, every system jumped to like an online thing, and then when they went to the Wii, it's had no game community. They decided to go online, and it's like they keep going backwards and try to go forward, and it's not going to work. They are slow. They are always behind the actual competition. I mean, granted, their only thing that's been keeping them afloat is the handheld. Really, that's the only thing I can say that's been keeping them afloat. Well, that and the games, but the handheld has kept them afloat.
Yeah, I mean they've been dominating the
I agree.
handheld market forever, dominating nobody has even come close to even touching it. Maybe they should just give up on the hardware console, the console hardware market, and just go handheld. Krusty, what do you got to say? You a Nintendo fangirl at all?
Right. Oh, wow. Context. So Nintendo did have a reason for it, even though I'm not defending them. But they said they are deleting unpopular levels, and I don't know if they're basing unpopular off of how many completed run-throughs there were, how many stars that were collected from the game. Because if you have an impossible to beat game, it's not going to have a lot of completions, which makes sense. But it also doesn't make sense why. Well, I mean, if they're basing unpopular off of how many people beat that, then I could see them trying to clean it up to make it more enjoyable for kids. Because honestly, it's Mario Maker. It was made for children, and then adults, made this super impossible. You guys know. You guys saw the videos of the crazy ones, but yeah, why they would need to delete them? I don't know why. It's not like they were running out of space or something. I don't know. But that was the reason. They did have a reason for it.
Oh, because
I have a long relationship with Nintendo, and I will never leave them.
well, I'm not leaving.
That's right.
I'm calling foul on this simply because anybody who purchased this game have a right to make how many levels they want, from super beginner, easy, friendly to challenging and what. To challenging and whatnot. So for Nintendo to say, "Oh, your level is too hard," or "It's unpopular enough," not we're gonna yank it and whatnot. I don't think they have that right, because I purchased this game with my hard-earned money. I can make whatever levels I want and play whoever levels I want to, and for them to just take that control from the player, man, it ain't right, man. It's just they wrong and they file for this. It defeats the whole purpose of being able to curate your own levels in the game if you just go naked because, well, Nintendo feels that they aren't popular enough and only 2 people out of the entire Mario Maker community was able to beat your game. It's like, so what?
That's not why they said unpopular. So whatever they were basing unpopular on, we don't know. But they said they're deleting unpopular games.
What do you think? File the papers.
That's what Nintendo can do.
File the papers. Like I do.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that, sir. I think I'm gonna have to do that.
Well, I can definitely see both sides of the story. Excuse me?
More Nintendo for me.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I still love my Nintendo, and I can see your point, Krusty, as why they would do that, because that Pooh Man, if I remember correctly, I watched one of his videos, and that video looked darn near impossible. I mean, just trying to play some of these crazy, insane, levels that only himself and probably a few other people can beat. But at the same time, I mean, just have that challenge there. It's like, if you're going to allow people to make stuff and it's not offensive at all, yes, the level may be hard, give people the challenge. If they want to play it, they can play it. They have the option to play the hard level, or they have the option to play the easy level. It's just have it out there for everybody. But, enough.
Well,
go ahead.
Here's a question that I have. Look, did they even send out like emails or something,
no,
or let them know? Oh man, come on now! I would have gave them a little warning or something, man. Oh yeah, we're deleting your level, and you just come back and your level's gone. That would piss me off.
Yeah,
they just swooped in like SWAT. They just came crashing in and just confiscated the stuff and just took off. That's what they did. So
yeah, they most definitely did. But I can tell you somebody who is not doing that exact same thing. We're gonna change it, flip it up a little bit, since we're talking about animation right now. Studio Ghibli, the studio that is known for making great movies like Princess Mononoke and on Howl's Moving Castle and my wife's favorite, Ponyo. I'm making a joke. I'm making a joke because that's not her favorite whatsoever. But they are, and also the people who do the animation for Futurama, the studio uses a program. Let me double check and see what the heck this name of this program is called. I don't have it. But whatever the heck the name of the program is, it's going open source. And that can open up a lot of possibilities for people who are either amateur filmmakers, like you see quite a bit of those on YouTube, or even other studios who, instead of having to pay tens, if not thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for animation software, they can have access to this software to create whatever they can. What do you think about that, Cressy? Are you in the studio Ghibli?
Oh yeah, and I think someone said it was also Futurama who uses the same one, and it's Tunes with a Z, by the way. That's the animation software. Yes. I'm pretty excited because everything that I've seen from Studio Ghibli, and of course Futurama, Leela, I think it's beautiful. I think everything is just, smooth, and I don't know. I hope I see more artwork, more videos and stuff in there. So it's a pretty good idea. I'm excited.
Sev, what do you got to say about that?
This is great news. I am looking forward to see what independent, creative, up and coming, budding animation / filmmakers will do once they get their hands on these tools. So I'm just waiting to be blown. I'm just waiting to be blown away by this. This is outstanding. I'm glad that they're making this open source and getting it out there. We're not being stingy like some companies. I'm not gonna name no names, but just use your imaginations and you can figure out. But this is outstanding, man. This is great. It's great news.
Sounds pretty good. Simon, you I know you're a big anime buff. You and I go way back with that animation. So tell me, what you got any opinions about free open source software to create, and not necessarily going to be as good as Studio Ghibli, because you got to have some great minds behind that, and not everybody who creates stuff does well, as you see in some video games and some animation out there. But what do you got to say?
Yeah, I was looking at it on the link that you sent. I believe that the product is called OpenTunes, which is pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You definitely would have to have like some good artists. I don't know that I didn't read the whole thing, but I'm wondering if they actually. It's digital, so I'm guessing that there won't be any like hand drawn or anything like that. But if it was, that'd be kind of cool because like you can show off your artistic side. I would actually like to see this. I would actually like to get my hands on it myself and mess around with it and see what's going on. You know what I mean?
Well, you can show your skills out there because I have no animation skills whatsoever. What you got to say?
It said it can turn one picture into an entire animation sequence. I think that's what they said the OpenTunes will. I don't know if OpenTunes did that or just Tunes. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking at the thing now. It says you can turn hand-drawn art into vector graphics. Most recent version can turn a single drawing into a complete animated sequence. So yeah, I'm expecting to anybody who ever uses like their stuff is going to end up just beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to blow the world off of. I mean, just people that have just really good, like our own Waffles, who can draw really well. I'm not even going to use big words to try to explain how well he can draw. He does a really good. He can create his own animation. Do the Culture Junkies animated series. I think that'd be great. You hear me out there, Waffles? If you watching, make it happen. Something I heard, Seth, tell me about this. Phil Spencer, I need you to tell me about this because it sounds extremely odd, to say the least.
So basically, at GDC, Microsoft had a little party, and they had girls dressed in little skimpy outfits, dancing on tables and whatnot. And people thought it was inappropriate because they said that, GDC is not that kind of a conference / party. Because apparently, I think like a few doors down, they were having like some type of women's gaming award or conference. I'm not sure. So basically, Phil Spencer had to bite the bullet, and he'd apologized and said this kind of behavior would not be tolerated. And I'm calling foul on this because they knew in advance they was going to have girls dancing half naked on tables and whatnot. I don't know if Phil Spencer, I don't think he was responsible for, he's in charge of marketing for Microsoft. I don't think he was like, let's get some half butt naked chicks on tables dancing and whatnot. It's just, this is a day and age where people get easily offended and whatnot. You don't get booth babes at E3 anymore. They've kind of stripped that down to barely nothing and whatnot. So I think it's a foul call. I mean, Phil Spencer put on his big boy pants and kind of took the blame and apologized for. I don't think he needed to apologize for anything. I mean, this stuff happens often, a lot and whatnot. And, you know, some social justice warriors saw it or got mad, was like, oh, this is inappropriate and whatnot. And, you know, maybe for this kind of conference it was, but I don't think an apology was necessarily needed to go out and whatnot. Because, I mean, nowadays, man, is people don't have any spine. They get offended by the smallest thing. I don't like the color of your shoes, and they want to take me to court because he doesn't like the fact that I have orange and green shoes. It's get out of here with that, man. It's just stupid.
Do you have orange and green shoes, Sev?
No, I don't have orange and green shoes, sir.
I do have green shoes.
I'll be offended.
And I will wear those green shoes very proudly. Krusty, did you hear any about this with Phil Spencer and all this other stuff?
I didn't hear anything about it, but I mean, you having women dancing on the table, that, I mean, to me, that's not really offensive, but I also have like a normal average level of sensitivity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, everybody has their own opinion about a lot of things, and some people do, as Chef says, do take things out of proportion. But I would be the one to say, like, you could keep that privately and not make it public. But if he comes out and apologizes, if he offended some people, by all means, hopefully those people take the apology and understand that it is what it is, and they move on and not try to draw this out into something that is like.
Coogee, come on now, man. It's Xbox. You know damn well they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, well, they're trying to drum up. They're probably trying to drum up something. I mean, but they don't need that anymore. All they got to do is release another Halo, and people are going to be talking about Microsoft again. So
agreed, but they try. I mean, they need something to keep them relevant as of right now, because right now we can't really say they're losing the war, but it's just that they got to do some stupid shit to get them numbers.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to sales numbers, they're not selling like the PlayStation 4, not even close.
There's a hole on the starboard bow of the ship, and it's taking in a lot of water.
Those people at Microsoft, they're definitely not Apple, and I don't know if you guys have heard that the Apple has announced the same phone again.
Another one?
Yeah, it's called the
same phone.
It's the same phone because it's the Apple 6 or the 6S, the innards of a 6S. It's being crammed into a 4-inch display, and for people who apparently don't like big phones. And personally, I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of small phones. My phone is a 5.5-inch phone, and I love it. I can never go back. But then again, I don't buy Apple products, mainly because they are the same thing. Not saying that they're not good, all you Apple fanboys out there. They do make very good products. Just not for me, because I like to customize my stuff inside and out. And if you like your iPhone, by all means, like your iPhone. But now you have a small iPhone for people who apparently have small hands. Simon, what do you got to say about Apple?
Small hands. Well, of course, my mom has a phone. So she doesn't want to get the whole the big phone, so she's going to wait for that small one to come out. So I can't really say anything bad about Apple, and I can't really say anything good. So I'm just going to say, way to go, dude.
That's basically all you can say, because, I mean, like I said, people who like their Apple phones, they don't. There's not much for me to be desired. It's just like the same thing, release a couple of tweaks here and there. Krusty, you on iPhone?
Yes, I own an iPhone. I have a 6S Plus.
Now,
is that what it's called?
I believe it's the 6X Plus. And when they announced the big iPhone, because it took forever. I mean, there was generation after generation after generation of small phones, where on the Android side, you have variants of different sizes. So when they announced that big phone and you bought the big phone, what went through your head? Did you say, hey, they finally got something that's big enough and it's an iPhone?
Honestly, yeah, this is my first iPhone, and I didn't like them because they were like, I don't have baby hands. Why do I need a tiny little baby phone? But my husband loves the tiny ones. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, he loves the tiny little phones.
It definitely does
So
sound weird.
he's probably gonna, end up getting that one. But I don't know. Because they made such a long transition to get into big phones, and now they're going back to tiny phones, and it's just like, because the 6S was the same as the 6, except that you have a pressure touch thing, which I had never used.
Yeah, it sounds gimmicky, but
so the 6S is just the 6, and this new phone is just going to be the 6, which is the 6. I don't know. They just need to make something new. That's what I think. Like it's just time.
I don't see that happening anytime soon because it continues to sell.
Yeah, that's true.
And Apple's just gonna say, okay, let's tweak it a little bit and then give them a new one. Sev, I know you've had Android and you've had iPhones. Tell me about your experience, buddy, and tell me what you think about this small phone.
You ever wonder why you go into an iPhone store and the majority of the color is white? Has anybody ever wondered that?
Nah, I've never been in an iPhone store, so I
What?
can tell you. Nah,
I have.
The majority of iPhone stores, because they have one down here in Naples, Florida. It's all white. It's ginormous. The reason why it's white is because they love to milk the customer. That's why it's white. They love to milk the customer. I do not understand people's obsessions with iPhones, okay? My mom has almost like iPad, iPhone, iDock. She is iPhone crazy. She is probably going to buy this phone just because it's new, okay? I personally have a HTC phone and whatnot. It's a little bit bigger than what I expected, but I don't like being in a completely locked up platform system and whatnot. I mean, the phones are fine, but it's sad thing is this phone is going to sell like hotcakes. People are going to buy this phone in droves and whatnot. I don't understand it. I just don't. Megashine might buy this phone.
Megashine is known for having the taste for the Apple, which again, I personally do not have the taste for Apple products. Not saying again, because there's people out there that will misconstrue. I don't hate Apple. I just don't think they're for me, because I've had a variant of Android phones, and they all do the same thing, which is make telephone calls. You can watch YouTube. You can search the internet. You can do all that same stuff with it, but it's just I can make my desktop look like how I want to. I can add as many windows as I want to and take away as many windows. You have launchers. You have all this stuff. That's what makes me an Android fan and not an Apple fan. But if I were somebody who did not care, like a lot of people out there, sure, why not buy an iPhone? Because you get the exact same thing, internet, cell phone, and you can watch your movies and all that good stuff. And by all means, do what you like. And if any of you out there in Junkie Nation, you can hit us up on Twitter and tell us at Culture Junkies _ tell us why you think the new iPhone small is going to be a success, or why you like Android phones. I'll reply back to you. All of us here at the Junkie Nation have something to say about that, and maybe we can get some conversations going. But now we are going to move on to one of the reasons on why you are here, and that is DC. Well, being the fact that today is animation night, I'm going to first start off with that. This Monday, it's animation night. So we're going to talk about what's happening this week with Superman and Batman, the movie coming out, where our compadres are right now. We're going to talk about DC animation, because DC, in my honest opinion, makes some of the best animation that anybody who creates American, and we're not going to pull the Japanese in here because they do some awesome stuff, but American story-driven things that are American properties, not necessarily animated by Americans, because nobody American animates this stuff anymore. But they make some awesome movies. They make some awesome TV shows. We have had Batman, Superman, the whole team up with the Justice League. You have Green Lantern. You have even Teen Titans, and I understand that people don't like Teen Titans Go, and I know it's difficult talking about Teen Titans Go, but it's still there and it's still popular. So we're going to talk about the evolution of DC animation and why we like it and maybe why some people may not like it. Hint, hint. First off, a long, long time ago, before most of us were born, they had the Super Friends. Now, we've all watched this stuff in reruns, and we know how cheesy it was. And then one day, along came Batman the Animated Series, which, in a lot of people's opinion, is the best series that Batman has ever graced us. Not counting comic books, of course. This is strictly television and animation. And I think from that format, they have progressed with getting darker, getting more serious, and showing us the side of animation that is for people who grew up with this stuff, but they don't want to see kiddie things. Like, in my honest opinion, Red Hood was probably one of the best that I've ever seen. And I wonder why they did not release this in the theaters to a wider audience, because it was that good. And I'll go on and tell you why. Because of Mask of the Phantasm. I don't know if you guys know anything about Mask of the Phantasm, but it it was based off of the Batman and Animated Series, and it was released in the theater, and it tanked. It did really, really bad. And unfortunately for Warner Brothers, they just decided not to release anything in the theater anymore. But they didn't give up hope, and I am extremely grateful for that, because we can sit here and talk about it. So, I'm going to start with Simon. Simon, tell us a little bit about your first memories and or experience with DC animation, how you saw it grow, in your opinion, from Batman the Animated Series to maybe Beware the Batman or some of those other ones. Talk about some of the your favorite shows and what you expected out of some of these movies and or TV shows.
Well, first off, I did grow up watching Super Friends myself. Yes, they were cheesy, and they were no, basically they were cheesy. But as you know, got older, growing up, and the Batman the anime series came out, kind of took off after that. Because then you heard rumblings that they were going to do a Superman animated series, and definitely that was a good series. But the Batman animated series was the best one. And then from there, because with the Superman, they did a lot of guest appearance of other superheroes, more than Batman did. And from there, they were like, maybe we can do the Justice League. And lo and behold, they grace us with that. From there, they went with. I actually love the Batman Beyond series. That was a damn good show. Surprised they cut it really short, even though it was 4 seasons. That was 4 good seasons. And I was kind of cool that they actually ended it on the Justice League, but I was hoping that they could have did it on the actual series itself. Now, transition after, the Justice League run and all that, and they did the Batman. I wasn't really a fan of it too much, because it was not really the animation that I was kind of accustomed to, so I kind of passed on it. I watched a few episodes here and there, but it's on Netflix now, so I can watch it whenever I want. But going from there, I actually did enjoy some of the actual animated shows, the new movies, the movies that came out. Like I said, the Red Hood, under the Red Hood, they had Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam. They did those shorts; those were pretty good. The Green Arrow, Catwoman, Green Lantern, the anime show, that was good. It was short lived just because it didn't sell toys, even though there were no toys in the actual aisles. I didn't see any. And I was kind of bummed about that when they decided to cut the show that short. So, trying to catch myself. But the other shows, but no, I mean, there's so many shows. I don't want to like jumble in the show and like take everybody's time. But going from there, the Justice League and all those shows, and then the Batman series, those are great. And then can't wait for the Teen Titans. That's going to be pretty good. I'm looking forward to that. Teen Titans versus Justice League. That's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I saw the trailer of that not too long ago, and again, it looks like it's going to be amazing, and I tell you, I can't wait. So tell me, out of all the shows that you have watched, and I'm pretty sure that you've seen all of them, which one was the one that you liked the most?
I'm going to go with the greatest color in the world, which is Green Lantern. That was my favorite show.
Green is the best color, and I really like that show myself.
Yeah. Oh, look at Waffles is joining us. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Waffles. What's going on, Waffles?
With that coonskin cap.
Hello there, Waffles. How do you do?
What's going on?
Not too much. We're gonna get you in on this little conversation.
Okay, well, I'm more than happy to join.
All right, most definitely. It's really good to see you because we don't see you too often, but it's nice to hear from you.
He got tired of playing Forza. That's why he's here.
Yeah.
I'm the man behind the scenes doing all this artwork, but
yeah, he is. He's busting his butt on his artwork, and he's doing a great and fantabulous job. I tell you that, fantabulous job. All right, well, Krusty, we talked in pre-chat, and you didn't elaborate then, and I understand why. I understand why, because you wanted to save it for the show. But before you get into that opinion of what we talked about in the pre-show, before we get to that opinion, tell me a little bit about yourself when it comes to DC animation. Just like, do you enjoy DC animation, or were you a Marvel person? Even though we're not talking about Marvel right now, but
no,
like just watching.
I do not.
You're not at all. You're not a fan of the DC animation. Green Lantern.
No,
Superman.
I've always been a Marvel person. I know my brothers are, my younger brothers, but I could never get into it.
All righty. Well, being the fact that I believe you told us you're not a Batman fan, and they were trying to point out some good episodes apparently to get you to watch Batman the animated series, which and majority of people, and I understand there's a minority of people out there that do not like Batman, mainly because he's oversaturated in today's pop culture, or other reasons of which I have no idea, but just
he's not even a superhero, so
you're gonna have to talk. No. You're gonna have to. It's kind of hard.
Better take that back. Better take that back right now.
Tell us your what's his superpower? Being rich?
Well, yeah, that can help out a lot. Tell us
my experience
with
Batman
brain series. It is his commitment to his cause. It is his discipline. It is his martial arts prowess.
Batman.
How dare you?
So that's pretty much Bill Gates without the kung fu.
No, it is not Bill Gates. It is no.
So Bill Gates doesn't have superpowers?
No.
Bill Gates does not have superpowers, but unfortunately,
Batman.
for him,
he's killing me.
The animated series.
Let her get her thing, because I have to hear this. I really
he's
do.
Not what?
Because just growing up watching this on TV, I was there when that show came on. Like, man, this show is awesome because I've never seen anything like that. And this is when the time where you're crossing over from a young buck to a middle buck, as they like to call them, as I like to call them, as nobody calls them. You're crossing into something that was not really made for kids. It was on primetime television. Okay, silence in the room. Everybody, I have to hear this. Tell me about your Batman and your DC experience, and everybody let her speak. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this. All ears on Krusty.
Okay. I was recommended to watch the show. I was told to watch Two-Face and then like 3 other shows. Or 3 other episodes. Batman the animated series is a pile of boo-boo crumbs. I'm sorry. It was corny. It was cheesy. it was. You can tell because there wasn't really like a storyline. It was like, okay, next scene. Okay, next scene.
Were
I
you
don't know.
watching the
It
same
wasn't.
show?
It wasn't enjoyable at all.
Was it not enjoyable just
Yeah.
because you don't like
That's
Batman?
bipolar disorder or something, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
No, I don't like Batman at all.
Is that why it was not enjoyable? Just because it's Batman?
No, I've seen some Batman. I saw the Batman movies. I like the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Okay, that explains it.
I know everybody hates that one, but I like that one.
Well, well, I can appreciate it a little bit because how corny that was.
Sorry.
It was extremely corny, but the director
It was amazing.
It was corny, and he was channeling Adam West. The Bat credit card. Bat card. You said that I'm not. It's your opinion, and I respect that opinion.
The animation was really beautiful.
Disagree.
I like the animation, but it was just like the voice acting was kind of shoddy for me.
Yeah.
And it was just like everything was just shoddy. You can tell. I think it looked very low budget.
Coming from the 90s?
Yeah.
Just low budget for the 90s or just low budget,
I know a lot.
period?
Batman sucked, yes.
Batman sucked.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's the 90s. Okay. So, yeah, I think it's low budget for now. But for the 90s, I'm pretty sure it was, top notch.
All right. Well, like I said, I can respect your opinion. I just disagree with it. I'm gonna save the best for last. Severo, Sev, you're coming. I want to hear Waffles. Waffles, talk to me about your DC. Like, tell me what you liked about the DC animation. Tell me what your favorite one is, but tell me about your experience with DC.
Well, like Simon said, actually, my first experience with those corny ass Hanna-Barbera cartoons, with Super Friends and Batman and Scooby-Doo, like those are just like, those were awful when I was like a kid watching. I was like, what is this? But like I said, I like Batman the Animated Series because it transitioned straight from the movies to the cartoon. That I liked it, but it wasn't my all-time favorite. Like, a lot of people don't remember Legion of Superheroes. That came on I think the WB really early, but it had 2 seasons. But that's one to check out. And of course, I like Green Lantern because that's one of my favorites as well. Well, Justice League, of course. But I'm leaning towards Green Lantern and Legion of Superheroes because I like to be different. I mean, a lot of people, I don't know, Legion of Superheroes came out on DVD, so you don't have to YouTube that one or check Kiss Cartoons. But that's definitely one worth checking out.
I'm gonna take a look at it because I enjoy everything Batman. I just do.
It's got Superboy in it, and then in season 2 he goes from like this. I don't know if I want to spoil it for you, but I mean he goes to like this other Superboy, and it's awesome. Like it's really good. Think like Teen Titans, but with Superboy in it. So it's pretty good.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that one out most definitely based on my recommendation there by my good friend Waffles. Mm-hmm. Unlike Krusty, I like myself some Batman. I wouldn't say is my favorite superhero, but I just have not been disappointed by the animation stuff. A couple of video games I've been disappointed, and a couple of the movies I've been disappointed, but overall he gets a B+ overall, unlike some other superheroes of which we more than likely will talk about down the road. I mean, I'm surprised nobody out there has said anything about Superman, but before we get to that, I got to hear Sev's take.
Okay, first and foremost, I hereby deem Krusty clinically insane. Let's just get that out of the way right now, all right? You've already heard her reasons for Batman and Robin. You have got to be kidding me. That movie. Moving on, okay. What Waffle said about the Legion of Superheroes, I was actually trying to remember that name of that show a few days ago. I think they kind of killed that one a little bit too early. That was really good, and just when it was really starting to take off, they pulled the plug on it. I don't know why. there isn't much more to say about DC's animation. I mean, everything from Batman animated series to Superman, the Superman animated adventures and whatnot. It was clever story telling for the most part, good plots, good story and whatnot, and it stayed true to the source material a lot and whatnot. And a lot of other, well, there wasn't a lot of other. Only let's say Marvel can definitely learn more than a thing or two from them and whatnot. Sadly, at this point in time, we don't have any, good DC animated shows on television. But I mean, the movies just keep coming and coming. And I think the only reason why they keep making all these Batman films because I think it's the hero that most people can kind of relate to, and they just keep writing good stuff for him. So I mean, I will agree, he's definitely oversaturated. He's basically he's basically he's basically DC's bottom bitch, so to speak, and whatnot. But I mean, he's making Warner Brothers that money, man. I mean, think about it. That's the only reason why he's in the Man of Steel film because the first one didn't generate the numbers. Like, hey, let's throw Batman in the mix. I think the reason why people are even going to go see the film because Batman is in it. If it was Superman versus Green Lantern, people would have been like, I don't know. But DC's animation is top notch, man. I mean, every time they get ready, I hear an announcement of an upcoming animated film and whatnot. I'm there, like day one on it, man. I have great fond memories growing up with it. Particularly when I was in the military, I watched a lot of Batman Beyond because I used to work the graveyard shift there when I got off work, and it was on and somewhere times overnight, and it was great, man. Their animation to me, as far as American animation goes, has got to be just some of my favorite, man. They just tell great stories. They just do, and the animation is good. And lately, what Simon said is that it's starting to get more adult, and they're starting to get a little bit more gritty with it and whatnot. And I like that. There's enough animation out there for the kiddies and whatnot. I'm a grown man, okay. Write some stuff for us, the grown up, because we grew up with this stuff and whatnot. So it's about time they start telling more of adult oriented story. So,
and I hopefully agree because, as a child, a lot of the cartoons that we watched back then, no matter what it is, like Super Friends, like we're just gonna talk about that one. They were like they were for kids, and as we got older, that just is not gonna fly. And that's one of the main reasons why I really do like Batman the Animated Series because it did start. Now, I can understand Cressy's perspective because if you go back and look at some of the early episodes, they do look a little dated. I'm not going to take that away. They do look a little dated.
Dated, voice acting's horrible.
Oh my God, stop it.
Corny.
Oh, no, not Kevin Conroy, not Mark
Kevin
Hamill.
Conroy and Mark.
Okay.
You got it. Mark Hamill? You're saying the voice actor? Mark Hamill. Good old. That's the best rendition of the Joker.
No.
Oh my God.
I didn't see the Joker, but it was the one. Who was it? Harvey Dent. His voice acting was horrible.
Oh my God.
And his fiance, she's like, "Oh, Harvey,
So you're telling me
it's
that the great
unnatural."
Andrea Romano, one of the greatest voice casting directors of all time,
Who's that?
What she's doing? Oh, you don't know who she is? Again, clinically insane, ladies and gentlemen.
What? I don't like. Oh, it's a voice casting director. It's like okay.
Wikipedia, this woman's name. It's trust me. She is, if not the best voice casting director out there. That's another reason why Batman the Animated
Andrea
Romano, yeah.
It's because she actually had all the voice actors in the same room instead of them doing cold reads independently. That's another reason why the voice cast clicked so well on that show. On all of the DC stuff.
All of the shows. I thought that
maybe this was like her first job and she was still learning or something.
I don't know, but and I understand again. I can see your point of view. I don't know if you gave it enough chance or it's just that you already have a disdain for Batman that kind of hurts your watching experience. What about Superman? Would you? Because Superman, again, for me, I'm not a big Superman fan. Not because he is super mega powerful. Hello.
Nah, I just think I don't really have a opinion of Superman. He honestly, like, all jokes aside, he's just too, like, he has every superpower, and it's just like it's honestly.
Well, a lot of people do take him as being boring.
I don't enjoy the story.
He doesn't have every superpower because he can't teleport there.
No.
So he doesn't have every superpower.
But it's funny.
Oh my god. Okay, 10 years from now, he's gonna teleport.
But yeah, but Darren was what he was saying. Like, me and Simon were talking about the other day, like how we kind of grew up in the '80s. Like, as we grew up, the cartoons grew up like at the exact same time. Like, you know, like we were talking about how, you know, like how all the anime, we were talking about how Dragon Ball Z would take so long to come on because they had to go through and edit each and every frame, you know, to edit out the blood and all that. But as we got older, it's like the audience got older, they started bringing up more adult-oriented shows and stopped censoring everything, you know. So I find that kind of interesting. How it just shows grew up like right along where we grew up at, you know.
And if you think about it, DC has been the only American animation studio, or Warner Brothers, or whoever you want to call it. All their stuff has been that. They've been more adult-oriented. Marvel, on the other hand, they've been reigning supreme with the live-action movies, and I'm not counting the stuff that Fox or any other studio. I'm counting Marvel only. Their animation has been decent.
You sure about that?
Well,
Earth's Mightiest Heroes?
Earth Mightiest Heroes I thought was amazing.
Okay, yes.
The original X-Men cartoon was amazing, but they don't really have a lot. They don't have a lot, but DC, I mean, I think they need to spend some time on some of their other characters, like Green Lantern. That animated show was great. As I like to say, it's super awesome. It got canceled way too soon. I really think they should start focusing on Green Lantern, on Flash, on some of their other, because they have a lot of superheroes that they can focus on. But of course, they keep coming back to Batman. It's not bad in my honest opinion, but they could focus on some other people. But just when you look at it as a whole, as we've already discussed, that they've grown up with us, and just to go back and look at some of the stuff, and again, I understand that back in the 90s, things looked a little bit different, but just like the storylines for it, I mean, the Batman, the Justice League itself had really great storylines. Nobody thought they were going to be able to do a Justice League cartoon because you had Batman in it and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern. They didn't know how they were going to focus on it, but they made it work. And they everything they put their foot in, they made.
Might I add something too here is that I don't think we're ever going to get anything adult oriented from Marvel as far as animation goes because they're owned by Disney. Because I mean, have you seen Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy? The animated show is absolutely terrible.
I tried.
No, you know what? Going back to what you were saying about like Green Lantern show being canceled early, they have a big track record of doing that a lot. Young Justice was canceled way too early. Like Walter said, the Legion of Superheroes, Superman and the Legion of Superheroes, that was canceled early. You got the Green Lantern. Dare I say, Beware the Batman was canceled way too early, even though it was bad. But they've had a really big track record of doing that as of late. And I'm just wondering, I mean, if they're going to, they were thinking about doing another Justice League cartoon, Cartoon Network.
Yeah, so I think they need to do a season where it concludes. So if it gets canceled, you don't got to worry about no opening stories where, oh man, I wonder what's going to happen next, then it gets canceled. Just have a season where you wrap everything up in that season, and you get picked up, cool. If not, all right, I'm not left hanging, you know.
Yeah, they should do that more than just leaving us on a cliffhanger like Young Justice did.
That is
they need to bring Young Justice back. Hopefully Netflix will work their magic with Warner Brothers and get that show back going again, please.
That's something I most definitely think they should do, because that, like you guys have brought up, something that DC, though they make some very good animation, their TV shows seem to get canceled and they don't finish them up. And that right there does hurt a lot. I enjoy the movies, but if you're going to make a TV show, have a beginning, have an ending, and do it. Don't just have a beginning, maybe have an ending, and then leaving our fans hungry for a lot more. Any final words, anybody? Krusty, come on, tell me, give me some hope that maybe one day you'll sit down, and not necessarily Batman, but anything DC, and just watch it for what it's worth.
I like Watchmen.
Yeah, that was really good, though. That was not that was DC, but that was like their adult offshoot.
Vertigo.
Yeah, Vertigo.
Yeah.
I mean, Watchmen was a really good comic, and it was a really good movie, and I quite enjoyed it. And if they were to redo it as animation, I most definitely would sit down and watch it again. I tell you, even though the movie was darn near scene for scene, I would watch it again. Simon, final words.
Yeah, it was awkward watching with your parents, so.
I can understand that. Waffles, Simon, let's get Simon's final words.
Bringing back Green Lantern and Young Justice.
Most definitely. I'd love to see those again. Sev, what you got?
What Simon said. Bring back those shows and beginning, middle, end. Stop ending everything on a cliffhanger with the hopes of us thinking there's going to be another season, and then we don't get one. And Krusty is still insane.
Waffles.
I'm fun.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a Batman Superman movie coming out. Give me another Batman Superman animation, because those movies were effing great. Especially the one with Supergirl on it. They got plenty of stories they can adapt, so let's get another one of those going.
I definitely agree that they definitely need to bring back some of these shows that they want to call failed, but in my honest opinion, were not failed. They just were canceled because you have people who are in higher ups that have no idea what they're doing, and they're just looking at
toy sales.
Yeah, they're just looking at dollar toy sales. You know, toy sales and TV shows are two separate things, and I realized back in the 80s, all animation was made to sell toys. That's not necessarily the case nowadays. We personally, as adults, like to watch it, and we're not going to buy toys. No, okay, I take that back. There are some out there that will buy toys, and there's some out there that just are going to continue to buy the DVDs. But if you guys out there in Junkie Land, Junkie Nation are listening, I'd love for you guys to continue this conversation. You can see us on Facebook at facebook.com/Culture Junkies. You can find our fan page and join where you can continue conversations. You can hit us up on Twitter, which, as you guys may or may not know, is at Culture Junkies _ Share, like this channel. And if you guys on Twitch, also, if you know that we have a Twitch channel, we definitely stream our video games on there, and we do a live show here every night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys continue to watch, love, and subscribe. This is the Great Data Kuji for Simon Says. For Krusty, we got for Waffles, and for Sev. Good night, everybody. See you guys tomorrow.
Later.
Good night. I hope you guys don't hate me.